Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Now we will check the operation of the power plant together. Let me take a moment to briefly and clearly explain the main purpose and objectives of today's inspection. So what we need to do is demonstrate in a clear and thorough manner that the compressor is actually powered directly by the power plant itself, specifically by the triboe generator. Additionally, it is important to show that an external consumer or outside user will also be connected to our power plant. In this way, through this process, we will be able to observe and confirm the results together. Now let's take a closer look at exactly how much electricity the compressor itself actually consumes from the triboe generator, and in addition to that we will also see that there is in fact surplus electricity, which is then supplied to the external consumer. Let me take a moment to tell you about a few additional units and components that we have installed here, specifically to demonstrate and clearly illustrate all of the above points to you in detail. Come with me. In this specific configuration, we have installed an integrated ammeter. This device will provide a clear reading of the network voltage in volts, while simultaneously showing the flow of electrical current in amperes. This is the electricity consumption. We have also installed current transformers here. These components are essential so that our ammeter can display accurate readings. Each of these specific devices, each current transformer, comes with its own official calibration certificate. We will also make sure to include it in the final project documentation. Let's also go. Now, let's examine the contents of our cabinet, which is responsible for housing the system for providing electrical power to the external consumer. Here we have also installed current transformers, and the same type of ammeter, which just like before, will also display the network voltage, this time specifically the outgoing voltage, and in addition the consumption as well of the outgoing consumer. There are also 3 current transformers installed here so that the device readings are exceptionally precise and highly dependable. Also, let me take a moment to demonstrate the external consumer for you. So look, as the external consumer, we have this kind of dinosaur, you could say, which has heating elements, 10s installed in it. The heating elements each consume 2.5 kilowatts. So we have 5 heating elements. Let's check that we currently have no outgoing electricity. Now let's turn it on. The station is currently not working, so there are no data readings available here. Now let's go ahead and turn on our power station, and once it is active, we should start to see some specific data readings appearing right here on the display. Let's turn it on right now so we can carefully check that every single component is functioning correctly. To successfully turn it on, since the unit is not currently connected to any external power source or to any additional battery packs, we are going to rely on the pre-charged air that we have stored inside the receiver for this initial startup. That's enough for us to start. Now I'm opening the valve, this one, and it'll start. We're generating power now. The generation will start. All right, let's open the valve. There we go. Let's go take a look. Right now, the generation has successfully started. The generation is running, but our compressor is not currently turned on. Our compressor isn't turning on. It doesn't turn on automatically, since we haven't set up the automation system yet, so we need to turn it on ourselves. Let's do it manually. And at the same time, we'll check the very first readings of the compressor's power consumption. So, I'm turning on the compressor, and here we can see the readings. Take a look. Now the compressor's consumption has started. 12, 12, 11. There's a reading on each phase. Voltage and consumption. Now, let's turn on an external load. By the way, while we're walking over here, so no one can say that there's nothing here. We'll reveal a little secret. So, take a look. Right now, we don't have any data on consumption because there is no consumption. But now I'll turn it on. There, now I'll turn it on. The load, there, I've turned on the load. Let's take a look. Yes, and now let's look at the current consumption levels. See, now we have the real-time consumption data now that the meters are fully connected. So, they are active. Usually paired together, as a general rule. They are connected in parallel. but the power station is operating smoothly and steadily for the most part. Let's also examine and monitor the compressor's consumption. The compressor's energy consumption levels are very stable. The compressor is currently running very smoothly. It is holding 6 megapascals without any issues at the moment. The consumption is stable. The external consumer is also drawing electricity steadily. That's it. So, colleagues, we've now seen the power station in operation. It produces more electricity than it consumes. Now let's turn it off. To do this, I first turn off the compressor. I turn the compressor back on, and here it's now running idle. You see, the consumption has dropped because it's running without load. It's no longer pumping. There you go. Now the compressor is off, it's not working. Right now, our generation is coming. Using the compressed air that is currently stored in the receiver. Now I am completely shutting down the flow of the air. There you go, as you can see. And accordingly, the generation stops. Colleagues, so we've conducted the experiment together, saw how the power plant works, observed the compressor's electricity consumption, and saw the electricity consumption by the external consumer. Through this comprehensive process, we have understood that the compressor is directly driven and operated by the power plant, being powered by it, and there is also a significant amount of available surplus electricity generated, which is then distributed and supplied to the external consumers beyond the system. And here as well. And that one also works perfectly, as we saw from the readings. Well, friends, that's where I'll say goodbye to you. Goodbye.